In this video, we will look at dividing a whole number by a decimal using a number line. The focus of this standard is using models, drawings, and strategies based on place value to compute problems. The work shown here should come after students have worked with more concrete models to divide, such as base 10 pieces. So let's get started with solving 6 divided by 3/10. Before solving, it's good for students to think about a reasonable quotient. In this case, they could realize that we are dividing 6 by 3/10, and that number is less than 1 whole. If we were to divide 6 by 1, we would get 6. We would be able to make 6 groups of 1 whole. However, here we are dividing by a number that is less than 1 whole, and so students could realize and reason that we would be able to have more than 6 groups of 3/10 in 6 wholes. So students could simply reason that the answer would be greater than 6 here. So let's begin to solve. To start, we will draw a number line. And we want to represent all 6 wholes. So this is going to go from 0 to 6. And now, since I'm looking to make groups of 3/10, I could split each of these wholes into 10 equal parts. This way I'm splitting each whole into tenths. So now that I have split each whole into tenths, we've shown 6 wholes here, we know that what we need to do is figure out, well, how many groups of 3/10 are there in 6 wholes. So now I want to go back and circle groups of 3/10. That will help me figure out how many groups of 3/10 there are in 6 wholes. So we'll just count out groups of 3/10. So 1, 2, 3. There's one group. 1, 2, 3. 2. 1, 2, 3. There's another group. So far we have made 10 groups of 3/10, and we have gotten to 3 wholes. At this point, some students may reason, well, if in 3 wholes we have made 10 groups of 3/10, and we know we have 3 wholes left to get up to 6, they may recognize that the answer would be 20. We'd have 10 groups of 3/10 in each group of 3 wholes. Some students may need to continue to circle 3/10, and that's fine as well. So we'll continue to do that. So 1, 2, 3. Again, we're just circling groups of 3/10 so we can see how many groups of 3/10 there are in 6 wholes. There's the last group of 3/10, and we do end up with 20 groups. And so through this work, we can see that 6 divided by 3/10 is equal to 20. Before we started solving, we had reasoned that our answer or our quotient would definitely be greater than 6 since we were dividing 6 by a number that is much smaller than 1. So we know that 20 is reasonable. And so this is one way you can use a number line to divide a whole number by a decimal.